John Kear, after a couple of weeks without a game, a good win in London on Sunday, good return to action. Were you pleased with how after that break the players, fared essentially?
Yeah, I was delighted to tell you the truth. I thought, London are in our division. I know they haven't picked up a win yet, but they are in our division, so the competitors of ours. So it's just as likely that we win as we lose. So it was a tough challenge. We came through it, especially when you look at the fact it's played now at the Wimbledon stadium, which it's not like before when it was at the Trailfinders. It's another hour on top of that, so it's a heck of a long journey down and return. But they coped with all the logistics really well and came up with a good performance.
Now looking at the Sunday, a familiar foe in Batley. They've played her a few times recently, obviously pre-season the earliest. Can you draw from that game? Obviously it wasn't an outcome-based afternoon, but is there certain things you can take from that, good and bad, that'll help this weekend?
Yeah, you can. I mean, but Batley settled into their game in pre-season really well, and you could tell it was a group that was the majority had been there previously for a number of years, because they looked really comfortable playing with the combinations within their team. We looked good to start with, and then we looked clunky in many ways. So what we can do is take work from that. But we're in a different place now from what we were then, and Batley are in a different place now to where they were then. So yes, you can draw certain traits of the opposition, and they can draw probably certain traits of us from that, but it'll be a completely different afternoon's work for the majority of us, not least because we used 23 players that day. So there's no way we can use 23 players at this coming weekend.
Early days, but it's a game against a team who will be a direct rival for a playoff position, so it is early days, plenty of points up for grabs, but it's a good time to lay down a marker.
It is, yeah, and I think you could probably say Lee and Featherstone were very heavy favourites in every game they're going to play, but in all the other games anybody could beat anybody else, and that's a fact. And it doesn't matter whether you wear red, amber and black, or you wear red and white, or you wear black and amber, or whatever it is. You're in that competition, and anybody can beat anybody else on any given day, and that makes that you've got to bring your A game to the game, to the playing field on a consistent basis. We brung the A game at the weekend against London, and the challenge is now to repeat that this coming Sunday against Batley on a very different surface, and in very different conditions.
Yeah, it certainly don't like it's a bit sunny, and the pitch might be a bit heavier than Wimbledon, but Batley obviously similar conditions in that pre-season game. Anyone who saw that game and anyone who saw Batley last season will know just how tough it's going to be on Sunday and how good a performance it will take.
Well, Batley are the kings of resilience. I don't care what anybody says, they never go away, and they'll keep working hard. They'll stick to their processes throughout, and they're a very hard-working, tough, effort-based team, and we've got to be equally as hard-working, equally as tough, and we've to make sure our efforts outdo theirs. So it's a heck of a challenge, but it's one that we're looking forward to. It
was the best defensive display of the season so far down at London. You're looking to carry that resilience you mentioned after the game through to this Sunday. Is that the benchmark, from a defensive perspective?
It is, yeah. We went 40 minutes without conceding a try, which was very, very pleasing. And it wasn't 40 minutes simply because we dominated that half. We had to defend very, very tough indeed, and show a great deal of resilience ourselves, especially from minute 41 to minute 60. We obviously became comfortable as the game wore on and we started putting points on them, but that third quarter was a very tough quarter, and I was delighted how the players handled it and how they came through it.
How have the squad shaped up after the weekend and going into this weekend? What can we expect from your 21 man squad?
Well, obviously we've got Rhys Evans and Matty Dawson-Jones both picked up injuries in that game. It's a Thursday, so we're only halfway through the week, so I'm not going to rule anybody out yet. But obviously our medics are working with them to attempt to get them on the field for this weekend. So we will make contingency plans. But as I say, until we've had Thursday's training, which is obviously our big training day, until we've had that really, it's difficult to really nail down the black and white of the 13 starting and the 4 interchanges.
And Jordan Lillard's obviously getting a lot closer, which is exciting as well. Getting closer to or much more like a fully fit squad for the first time this season.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are, and it's reassuring that it's it was tough initially, but we've started to get players back, and as you rightly say, Jordan will be back this week. So, touch wood, as long as he comes through as I say, this big training day, which is the Thursday day. Should he come through that, he will be back this week, which is great news for everybody.
And just to mention Jordan, with Billy Jowett as well is obviously out at the moment, but he's certainly been knocking on the door when he comes back, and it's credit to him that we've got this far without Jordan, and performed admirably as well.
It is, and it's credit to Elliot Hall and Elliot Kear as well, who mix and matched that pivotal role last week. So it's credit to them. So it's we've taken it on the chin, and I think we've come through it in with good colours, and I think we can now go forward. We'll have two, hopefully, fully fit, experienced half-backs, and that should make us better as a team.